Yeah. So,
Okay.
Murali, you can start. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just start sharing the screen. Goswami, I have one small video. Should I use this optimized for video sharing?
So, you can share the video also.
Yeah,
And
that's what.
and that day I told that you can give the tick that voice.
I've clicked in both optimized video sharing also. I've given, I think.
Okay.
Okay. 1 minute. I'll have to go out and come back, I think. I made a mistake somewhere.
Good evening, Murali ji.
Good evening, Jai Suryan. I was just asking about you only. How are you?
Yeah, fine. You have started?
No, not yet. Just about starting.
Okay, right.
Where is my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, it is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you once again for all your warm wishes and joining me in this elite group of the journey within. I've made a small attempt of starting with this series, and to begin with, just a recap of my previous sessions. I have been telling you that. Are you able to hear me? Audio and video? Yeah, because last time
Yes, loud and clear.
Last time somebody said my audio was not clear and they had left the meeting. So that's why I just wanted to find out. Yeah. So I told that philosophy.
It's absolutely clear.
Yeah. I request all of you to mute, and so that I can continue. I had mentioned this, just a recap for those who have missed earlier sessions and those who are new. Philosophy, I've been telling you that philosophy and emotional intelligence are my bailiwick. That is my field of interest. I've written books on art of waking up to happiness. I've shared that one of my wake up to happiness is being read and preached by a priest at Philippines. Mundane activities of daily work, which you have to keep our eyes and ears open, which I have given a recap. This is a recap of last time's session. I also told that philosophy is based on the sight and vision. Do you see what we really want to see? And what we really see is what is actually happening. Then we also described about the basis of philosophy. Philosophy is a Greek word starting with philos, meaning love, and sophia, meaning wisdom. And so philosophy literally means the love of wisdom. We also said that philosophy begins with wonder. Newton saw the apple fall. I even discussed about the 7 W's, which we mentioned earlier. And I also talked about philosophy thinking begins with curiosity, questioning, and reflection of our own thoughts. I also gave in the last lecture an overview of Vedic literature. We talked about Vedas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and I promised that I'll be taking up at Upanishads. And today, unfortunately, for next 2-3 weeks, I will not be taking Upanishads right now, because I thought some more basics of philosophy is required to be understood before going further into all these details of Upanishads and higher level of aspects. So I also gave an introduction of Vedic tradition, wherein the Vedic literature, which is one of the oldest available literatures in Indian heritage, Indian history, it is over 1500 to 500 BCE, and it is composed in Sanskrit mostly. It is not a single text, but a compilation over a vast corpus developed over time. And I also discussed in brief only about all the 4 Vedas. The Rig Veda, the oldest, which has about 1028 hymns, which are about the Panchabhutas, basically the forces of God, the cosmic principles, etc. The Yajurveda is the ritual instructions for sacrifices, mainly Agni, the sacrifices and invocation of the spirits from Agni, the Samaveda, the melodic chants, which is the basis of all our art and culture, the Atharva Veda, which spells charms about the practical knowledge and deliberates about how we have to perform the various duties. These are the four things which we discussed in the last session, and we also talked about the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the prose texts explaining the rituals and ceremonies to be done by the Vedas. We also talked about the Aranyakas, or the forest treaties, which are being ritual and philosophy, and it was basically intended for hermits living in the forests. Now, today we'll go a bit ahead. In the basic definitions, we'll see these parts to the best of our knowledge. I'll try to cover up all these things. First is the purpose of philosophy. We have been talking about philosophy overall. We'll see about the purpose of philosophy, the major branches of philosophy, which is metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, logic, and political philosophy. These are all already, for all the author friends who are here, we all know that these are all important categories in the non-fiction in Amazon KDP. Then we also will discuss why philosophy literally matters, which is the crux of today's topic. And are we still bothered about philosophy when we are so advanced using artificial intelligence and all higher level of knowledge? Why should we go into the basics of seeking knowledge? So these things and all we will contemplate and discuss today. And if time permits, we'll be going about the art of asking questions. This will be useful for mainly the prompters for AI-based people who are keen in that, the type of philosophical questions we can ask, the distinguish between opinion from argument, and we also will try to seek truth and knowledge, what we know, what is belief, what is knowledge, and what is the certainty. And we also will try to introduce skepticism, which is an important aspect in the philosophical aspect. So today, we'll just go ahead and make a beginning of what is philosophy. We also know that philosophy we have defined as philos, the love for wisdom. So what actually is wisdom is the question which arises because we have not discussed about wisdom earlier. So just to give you a brief, wisdom is not simply having information. We all have a wealth of information. We all have a great deal of knowledge. But does it mean that we are wise? Wisdom involves judgment. It involves balance. It involves clarity. It involves self-awareness and the ability to see beyond surface appearances. In a nutshell, philosophy is the discipline that gives us and helps us move forward to the kind of understanding to make us what we are really meant for. In other words, the art of living as a human being. And we all have heard of several Sri also talking about the art of living, and I am no match to that, but I'm trying to give some basics about the fundamentals of philosophy. At its core, philosophy basically asks few questions which are real. What is real? What can we know? What is right? What is wrong? What is the best way to live? What does it mean to be human? These are not questions that can always be answered quickly. If you contemplate deeply, the basic question which many are still exploring is, who am I? And it ultimately leads to awakening of the Kundalini, which results in Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvam Asi. So we'll try to explore and find out what are these aspects. So on the contrary, these are questions that shape our lives. Philosophy begins where easy answers end. The purpose of philosophy. We have been talking about philosophy so much. So why do we study philosophy at all? One reason is philosophy helps us think very clearly. Many of us believe, many of the beliefs which we have are inherited either through hereditary aspects, through the family, through the culture, through the religion, the various schools of thoughts, the various media, right from those Gurukul days under the banyan tree lectures to classroom and what we are here. These are all sources of knowledge which we have developed over the ages. Others may be unexamined or still mistaken. Philosophy teaches us not to accept anything blindly. It asks us to question and forces us to visualize whether what we see or hear is true or should I believe it, and what are the assumptions behind it. We are getting so many videos flooded in our WhatsApp and all these informations. If we take some time to probe, contemplate, and find out, are these real or are these informative? Yes, of course, but are these real is one thing which we have to establish. Another purpose of philosophy is to clarify ideas. That's what I've been trying to say. Are these ideas very clear? Which are coming up through all these media. Most of the important words in human life are also some of the most difficult to define. For example, let me say freedom. So, what is freedom? Are you totally free? We'll talk about this when we come to the one of the branches of philosophy called the political philosophy. Happiness. Are you happy? Again, definition of happiness. A poor man who's lying on a footpath and living in a footpath is happy. A rich man with all his riches is not able to get a sleep and is unhappy. So, what is the degree of happiness? How do we measure all these? Are all intricate things in philosophy. And truth is another such question. The identity, the beauty, the love, these are all most difficult to define as such, but we can only experience them in quotes within our own frame of happiness. One man's happiness may not be another man's happiness. Philosophy helps us examine these concepts with greater precision. Don't think that I'm just reading these facts. I'm going slow on these aspects so that we get a clear grasp of what philosophy is. Philosophy actually helps us to live thoughtfully. Like, it is important because philosophy not only has abstract theories, it is about our own life. How do we treat other people? What responsibilities do we have in presence of our own netizens, in our own surrounding, in our own environment? How should we make decisions when conflicts of values are there? What kind of person should I become? We ask a child who's going to the school, what do you want to become? Some says scientist, some says a doctor, and some says an engineer, and so on. So how do they get these inculcated questions? So what do they want to become? So these are the things which are driving us to a particular motive and to a particular goal. These are philosophical questions, but they are deeply intonated to one's individual perspective and how they behave, how they are going to achieve it. Philosophy in not only abstract, it shapes our choices, it influences our values, it helps us make sense of suffering, a success, and identity. I don't know how you are able to comprehend this. It makes us a sense of suffering. When you talk about empathy, when you place yourself in somebody else's shoe and you realize that they are suffering, some have a negligent attitude. Let them suffer. I mind my own business. But philosophy teaches us to at least give a word of consolation. If we are not, even though not able to physically help or monetarily help, we can at least be a source of consolation to them. We talk about success, we talk about identity. All these are philosophical aspects which are abstract but can only be felt and experienced. Today's one more major focus area is the major branches of philosophy. Philosophy, as we all know, is a very broad field, and I don't know whether I'm competent enough to talk on this field. Goswami ji, our veterans out here, who's done basically his philosophy and psychological aspects in graduation, post-graduation, and what I'm teaching must be preliminary for him, but I thought I'll have to share all these information. Today I want to introduce 5 major branches of philosophy. Just as in science we have botany, physiology, physics, and all those things. In philosophy, there are 5 major branches: metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, logic, and political philosophy. We'll be describing these in detail to some extent so that we get an understanding and a feeling of what philosophy actually means. So we go to metaphysics. Metaphysics is the study of the fundamental nature of reality. There is a sun, there is earth, we have the Panchabhutas which are around us, and we are able to see it, feel it, and experience it. So metaphysics is the study of the fundamental nature of reality, its existence, and the universe. But still the question arises about what is the Brahmand, what is the source of how we came to earth, and what is the source of the first DNA which has been populated down the hereditary aspects. If you think of all these things, we can ask questions. See, basically philosophy is based on questioning, keep on questioning. I have been asked, telling right from lecture 1, that philosophy basically insists on the 7 W's: who, what, when, where, why, for what, and for whom. If you are able to answer these 7 questions, I think you have reached to some stage to understand philosophy. It asks questions as what is real, what kind of things exist, is there more to reality than what we can see and measure? We are able to measure various things. Are you able to measure the degree of sweetness? That also we have got a scale. Very few know it. And are you able to measure the degree of chili? Like you have different types of chilies. One is very hot, one is hot. How do you measure them in a scale? Of late, science have found out and identified that there is a Scoville index which measures the degree of hotness in chili. So these have come by observations and by some scientific basis. If we see that there are several aspects like which we cannot measure. Hats off to Einstein when he founded the theory of relativity, wherein he used time as the 4th dimension. We all know that we have been living in the 3rd dimension. Imagine there being a 4th dimension, which is the time concept, and how everything is correlated with respect to time. And if you analyze this basic aspect of the theory of relativity, it can percolate down to the understanding of the cosmos or the Brahmand, how different planets orbit. The other day my grandson asked me, he was throwing a ball. I asked him, you throw a ball, the ball falls down. Why doesn't the earth fall down? He said gravity. I said, gravity of what? Then this sort of a questioning helps him see. He's too young to know about the Kepler's laws of motion and how the interplanetary stellar force is bind together and how the orbital movements are governed and things. So if we keep on questioning all these, we'll try to understand what exactly is happening. Similarly, what is time? The very concept of how time has come, how people calculated time right from sunrise to sunset. They used to watch the movement of the sun and identify the time. Mainly the farmers, the villagers, sunshine and the sunrise to sunset we were monitored, and they brought out the concept of time, and which is now measurable to the minutest nanosecond. We also now try to find out what is consciousness. Are you conscious of what you are doing? These are all deep philosophical aspects. Do you have a free will? Can you do anything you want? Are you able to achieve what you want? These are things worth contemplating on. Based on this, I have written one of my earlier books. This was, I think, in 2024. I published this book called The Fundamentals of Reality. This book is an attempt to identify and indicate the bridging of the gap of science and philosophy, wherein delving into quantum realms of cosmic mysteries and the time-space continuum for the transformation for our universal insight, wherein we can get some feeling of what is Brahman, what is what and where. And today we know that Voyager has traveled one light day, and I saw the photographs from NASA wherein it has been able to give pictures of after traveling one light day. Imagine, one light day is very, very far of distance, and hats off to NASA for such a great achievement. Metaphysics as such sounds abstract, but it is very important. Every time we ask a person what a person really is, what the self is, or whether the mind is separate from the body. I saw a beautiful lecture from Osho. He talks about the mind and how mind is different from meditation and how mind is separate from the body and things like that. We are entering, and when we are talking about this, we are entering into the metaphysical territory. Metaphysics thus invites us to reflect on the deepest structure of reality or the deepest innermost thing. We all know certain fundamental things, the nature up to the nanometers, or scientists have been able to find out different concepts of cells, different concepts of medical advancements based on these aspects. But still, there are so many things which are beyond comprehension. Why can't we generate a life artificially? Comes the next question when we are so advanced with artificial intelligence. One more book which is of importance, which is eye-opener for everyone, is Beyond the Atom. We know the smallest part of the atom, and beyond that, what is happening. In this book, I'll try to explain the intersections of physics, the intricate metaphysical aspects, and how philosophy plays a role in all these things. And it's a deep understanding. And I've made it as simple as possible in a dialogue orientation so that everyone can understand. It's a form of a question and answer sort of series, and this is one of the good books of mine. Next is epistemology. All my author friends know that this is one of the important categories in KDP, and most of my books are in this category. Epistemology, new thought, and all these things are important categories in which my books are on sale. Epistemology is the theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, its validity, and its scope. Epistemology is nothing but the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. You have an opinion, you have a belief, and for authors, we say all these, the author grappled with metaphysics and epistemology in his writings and sermons. Means he's combining both metaphysics and epistemology to bring out something new. The second branch of epistemology is in philosophy is this, which is the study of knowledge. So it can again see, it looks like I've been repeating the basic questions, but the ultimate truth is finding out what we want to know and what are can we trust our senses. Other day, I just gave a small pinch to my grandson on his forearm. He immediately removed his hand. I asked him, "Why did you remove?" He said, "You pinched me." So I pinched you. What made you remove your hand? He said, "Signals went to the brain." I said, "How did the signals go?" And this is how I was trying to teach him the basics of neurosciences to him, and it was a learning experience for me also. So similarly, how do we distinguish knowledge from self-belief? I have knowledge, I believe in myself, but are these in sync? This branch is especially important in our age because we are surrounded by so much of information. We hear a lot of claims, we hear a lot of news, a lot of outlets, a lot of social media, the frenzy of the media. We hear a lot from the public figures, the teachers, the friends. But not every claim is true, and not every confident voice is reliable. Look at this video. And I'd like you to pause and give me a feedback on this. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not getting the video on the camera.
NASA's satellites just caught a hidden signal in the middle of Antarctica, and it's coming from something that shouldn't exist.
Beneath miles of ice, a perfect pyramid has been discovered. It's larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza but its origin remains a classified mystery. Is it a natural rock formation or a hidden signal of an ancient civilization frozen in time? The truth is buried deep.
The world is full of hidden signals. Follow.
So, back to So you saw this video. I think you can unmute. Let us contemplate on this video for a few minutes. You saw this video. This is from NASA. That's what it claims. Now, several questions. Do we believe this NASA's video? Of course, NASA is such a reputed organization, such a reputed this thing. It cannot be false. It's one imagination. So we take it for granted that it is so. But then all these images which have come up, are these real or fictional or artificially intelligence created? All these things are new concepts which prop up. Hope you are able to understand this importance of the philosophical aspects in understanding such a deep sort of observation. This is just an observation in our point of view. What do you feel about this? Before I go ahead, I pause for a reply. You can unmute and share, talk. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Actually, I didn't get the exact meaning of what they shared. I mean, they are saying that there is a signal which they have detected.
Okay.
And similar to the pyramid of Giza, there is some structure somewhere.
Yes. Below the eyes, very deep below the eyes. What we have observed, everyone has observed. What is your view and what is my view, all are the same. Seems to be apparently same. But what we saw, is it real? I don't know, you don't know. So these are the basic questions we have to ask. Is there a real deep civilization which had formed this earlier? How was this formed? These are the basic questions which arise. That's what I was trying to interpret and find out. The art of questioning, finding out. That is the very idea of giving you all this small video, which I happen to find only today through again our WhatsApp channel.
But what is the? But where did they detect this signal? I mean, where is it coming from?
Deep in the center of Antarctica, they say. I'll play it again for you.
Center of Antarctica. Yeah.
Right from the middle of Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's a pyramid-like structure.
They found a signal and extracted the information from the signal. Yeah.
Signals
anyway, some information, something, but it is up to us to analyze whether this is true or
belongs to our civilization or ancient civilization. It's a natural body, artificial or concocted.
See, all these questions crop up. So this is just the tip of what shall I say, the iceberg of philosophical aspects. Okay, next we just go ahead. Epistemology teaches us to ask, is this supported by evidence? Is this reasoning sound? Or could I be mistaken? And the important crux is, how do I know what I think I know? How do I know what I think I know? A bit complex, isn't it? First of all, how do I know that is different. How do I know what I think I know? I have seen this picture. What do I know about what I've seen in this picture? So it sounds so abstract. So this is a simple exercise for you to know how deep is philosophy. A simple example would be, if two people witness the same event, we all saw the same event, but describe it differently, how do we decide what has really happened? Epistemology thus helps us to think through such questions. I mean, I'm trying to explain what different aspects of philosophy are. This is one more of my book, which is called Bound by the Senses. I talked about pinching my grandson. Is there a limit of my knowledge which is only bound by the five senses which we have? Or is there something beyond that? If there is something beyond that, what are the edges of awareness? These edges of awareness are those where thoughts fail and a real wonder begins. If we see from the frame of mind of the prehistoric people, they saw the sunrise and the sunset. They were not knowing that there's a movement, a spherical movement. They did not believe that the earth was round. Then one of the philosophers told that the earth was round because people believed that the earth was flat. When one of the philosophers told that the earth was round, they started beating him up, and all these things have happened. So it's a different way of thinking, different aspects. So this is one such book which I have written because my field of interest. And next is one more book which I have written is Redefining Identity. There are three concepts: the I, the me, and my. I is selfishness, belongingness, mine. Me is my own a bit of selfishness in detail, and my is the belongingness. This is mine. I don't want to give it to you, sort of an attitude. So these three aspects are the trifecta of our living, and this is basically exploring the ego, harmonizing the dimensions of our own identity, navigating the complexities of self-perception, and it results in the symphony of self-understanding of who am I, or I, me, and my. This is a real deeply thought of philosophical concept and deep this thing. I wish those who are interested in philosophy lay your hands on this book, and very contemplative. Available in Amazon, of course. Then we come to the next topic, ethics. The third branch of philosophy is ethics, the study of right and wrong, good and bad, and how we should live. Ethics, what makes an action moral? Is intention more important than the outcome? Just contemplate on each question. My intention is to achieve greatness. My intention is to be rich by any means. But is it important of the income? Is honesty always the best policy? Again, a point to be contemplated. What does it mean to live a good life? What responsibilities do we have towards others? I mean, very contemplative questions. Each one is worth writing a book on each of these topics. Ethics is one of the most practical branches of philosophy because it appears in our day-to-day life. I'll come to a very small story. It's called the Ratnakar story. Many of you have not heard about the name Ratnakar, but when I tell the story, you will correlate it very fast. Ratnakar was a very, very notorious dacoit. He was looting people all over who were passing by the forest. One day, a saint, in fact, in mythology it is Narada himself, a saint came down as a human being with a lot of jewelry on his neck, and Ratnakar was attracted towards him and wanted to rob all the gold. The saint asked him, "Are you sure you want to rob?" He said, "Yes." "Do you know robbing is a sin, and are you aware of it?" He said, "No, I'm not aware of it. Robbing is my duty, my ethical duty to feed my family and children who are at home." "Okay, I'll stay here," said the saint. "You go to your family and ask them that are they ready to participate and take care and share my sins, just as you are sharing my money for food and things. Are you ready to share my sins?" He went home, asked his wife, his children. None of them agreed to share his sins. They said, "Feeding is your job as a head of the family. You have to get our food and take care of us. How you do it is your baby, and I am not bothered. So he was very worried. He came back to the saint, lied prostrate on him, and said, yes, they are not ready to share. Then why do you want to share your food and other things with them? The next question. Is it a question of moral? Is it a question of selfishness? Is it a question of this thing? Since he fell prostrate and asked him for guidance, and he was none other than Valmiki himself, the writer who wrote Ramayana and was the founder, pioneer of all the slokas. This was way back, I think, in the 9th century BC when he wrote this. So this story, everyone, see, if I told Valmiki, everybody would have got it. Since I started with Ratnakar's story, this is a tinge to it. Now, again, is this Ratnakar story true? Different philosophies are there, different aspects are there. Google says something else. Many other visionaries say it is a true story, which is going on. And even they are talking about the Skanda Purana's detail which says this story is true. So, for example, should we tell a painful truth or protect someone's feeling? Imagine in a court of law, there is a criminal, there is a person who is victimized, and you have to, as a witness, tell what had actually happened. So, should you tell the painful truth that this had happened, or should you protect your feelings and a soft corner for what has happened and not reveal and things like that? We have seen many movies using this story. Should we keep a promise when it is inconvenient? What do we do when personal gain conflicts the fairness? These are all the questions which come up in ethics. These are not easy questions, and that is exactly why ethics matters in the basis of philosophy. Different philosophers have offered different approaches.
Sorry, but I didn't get I didn't get that point. Like, this is a well-known story of Valmiki.
Yeah.
So what did you say? Like, if now this particular thing says that it is Ratnakar story.
Yeah.
So by changing the name, what is
he was originally Ratnakar. He was later known as Valmiki.
Yes, originally Ratnakar.
Oh, okay.
He was originally Ratnakar as a person, as a dacoit by nature.
Yes.
Then after getting the sainthood sort of blessings, he changed himself as Valmiki, and the story of Ramayana begins from his version.
Actually, in the story that I had learnt, and in Maharashtra, all the text. So his original name was in the original name was Valya, and Valya became Valmiki. So
there could be different versions. There could be different versions. I think.
Yeah.
That's what I said. But the crux is to understand that people are not ready to share your sins. And that has come only by questioning. That is where philosophy lies. Okay. Nice, very interactive. Thank you for that. Yeah. There are different versions also. Anyway, this is beyond the topic or beyond our lecture now. So this is, in a nutshell, teaches us how humans should live. I go to the next. In this, I have one more book, The Cognitive Emotional Intelligence. See, this picture shows the heart and the brain, or the mind, you can call it. There is always a conflict between the heart and the mind. The heart says, "Ye dil mange more." The mind says, "No, no, no." For example, there are a lot of sweets, and the heart says, "Take one more, grab one more, grab one more." But the mind says, "No, no, you're diabetic, don't touch, don't touch." So there's a conflict. And this is where the emotional intelligence comes up, and exploring impacts of emotional intelligence on our lives, evaluation of emotional intelligence, improving self-awareness with compassion and empathy is the crux of this book. wherein this is also a dialogue-oriented book, which is doing very well in US and Germany. This is one aspect which I wanted to share. Then we come to the fourth aspect, fourth branch, which is called logic. The fourth branch is logic, the study of correct reasoning. We all know that if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. By the way, how many of you have read my today morning's message, wake-up message? Very few, I don't know. In today's message, I have talked about Jean Buridan's As philosophy. Jean Buridan was a great industrial psychologist, a psychologist for animals, in which he wanted to study about the philosophy or the behavior of asses, donkeys. He starved a particular donkey, and after a few days, he just left 2 plates of the ass's favorite food, of identical favorite food. Say hay. One part there is a hay, and the other plate also there is a hay. Donkey sees both, is not in a position to determine which hay to eat. And finally, Buridan's philosophy says it finally dies of starvation without knowing which one to decide. In our lives too, similar situation happens. There is a simultaneous 2 job offer. Which one to take at the particular time. All these things do happen. So we have to use a sort of a common logic to understand. I'm just giving this as an example. I've written a small anecdote in today's morning wake up to happiness about this, and I'm sure you must read it and at least feel it. It's only about 250 words, 2-minute read, and you will enjoy this particular thing. So this shows about the logical aspect of philosophy. Logic is valuable because a person can sound convincing without actually being correct. This is the job of most of the lawyers. In lawyers, whether it is true or false, how many of you know that there are 3 types of lies? There are 3 types of lies. One is called the lie, the greater lie, and statistics. So the lawyers try to somehow convince that they are correct by giving all these means. For example, someone might say, everyone does it, so it must be right. When the majority is doing it, it must be right. But it is not logical. Popularity does not mean that it's correct. So we have to contemplate on what is the truth. Logic helps us think more carefully, identify the weak arguments, and avoid being misled by emotional and faulty reasoning. Many political gossips which we are hearing, so many aspects are there which are emotional, which are misleading, which may or may not be faulty. So we have to use our judgment and find out and take what we feel is good. Another book of mine, please don't think I'm trying to market my books. This is not so. I'm just trying to express my feelings with all these aspects which I have already expressed about my love for philosophy. This book is Why Am I Like This? It says why my behavior is in a particular manner. Why should I sort of bend towards one particular decision and not towards the other? So it reveals the hidden patterns in our mind. This book basically is again dialogue oriented. It starts with a simple dialogue stating, I go stand in front of a fridge, but then I don't know what to do. I open the fridge door and don't know what to do. Is it that I forget to recollect what I came to the fridge for? Is it that I'm having Alzheimer's? Is it that? No, I'm not having any of these. But then there's a momentary sort of miscalculation of this thing. So what has happened in my mind in this particular stage? We have also faced many common scenarios like this. People keeping the spectacles in their forehead and searching the entire place. Not that they're absent-minded, not that they forgot what is there. It just happens. So about all these nitty-gritty instances I've tried to explain in this book why am I like this. We come to the fifth part, the political philosophy. The fifth branch is political philosophy. It is the study of the society, the power, the rights, the justice, and the government. We all are free since independence, but how free are we? We try to question this. This is the political philosophy. I'll see what are the philosophical questions which are coming below. It talks about what is justice, what makes a government legitimate, how much freedom should individuals have? Are you having enough freedom to do what you actually intend to do? What do we owe one another as citizens? How should power be organized? What makes a society fair? Lincoln had rightly said, don't ask what the country has done for you, ask what you have done for the country. We all have been worrying and talking about cleanliness in our environment, but are we not throwing our own garbage in our neighborhood? And we complain that Europe and other countries are so spick and span and our government is not doing enough. What do you expect the government to do? Ask what you have done yourself for the benefit of this. It's really a wonderful, wonderful quote by Lincoln. A simple self-awareness of the society and our own self will surely make our society a better place to live in. Political philosophy becomes especially relevant even when people debate equality, debate freedom, debate law, debate the rights or public responsibility. I'll just give an example, small example. For example, the society says it values equality. What does that mean? Equal rights to everyone, equal rights to everything. I'll give you a small example. Suppose the government decides all will be given uniform houses, all will be given work to do. You have to do this, you have to do this, everything assigned. All will be given food, medical facilities. All will be given adequate rest and timings and everything. But government will say no salary for you. All the output of the product will be sold by the government. No income for you, no salary for you. You work, you get your food and other assets. What will be your reaction? I pause here. What will be your reaction when the government says everything is for you? No salary, but you have to do this work, this work, this work and things. Just like a communal law.
That is the communism.
Yeah, just like communal law. That's what I'm doing. Just like a communal law. So do you want that? In that case, are you free? See, so many things crop up when we are talking about all these things. So what counts as fairness? Or should people perceive different support depending on their needs? These are not only political questions, they are philosophical questions about values, human dignity, and the common good. Hope you are trying to understand and comprehend the importance of all these 5 aspects of philosophy and how they are related to the common good of or the welfare of human beings. And coming to today's crux, why philosophy matters even today. We are in an advanced world. We are rich in science, technology, at least we feel we are rich in science, technology, artificial intelligence. Why do we still need philosophy? The answer is simple, because the more complex the world becomes, the more we need clear thinking. The more we need clear thinking. Philosophy still matters for several reasons. I'll point out few reasons which will make it clear why philosophy matters even today. First, it helps us think critically in an age of information overload. We are constantly exposed to data, opinions, headlines, videos, posts, and commentary. But information is not the same as understanding. The second is, it helps us make ethical decisions. I'll talk about a professional sniper, just like our Ratnakar story. I engage a professional sniper to go and eliminate one particular person, pay him say 1 lakh rupees to go and eliminate him. As a professional sniper, he is doing his moral duty, he is doing his ethical duty, he has taken money, he goes and kills the concerned person. But within his frame of reference. Now, in this particular case, if you contemplate and see, it has an inner meaning. What exactly is the ethical definition? What exactly is the morality of an individual? So, this is the analogy we have to identify and distinguish. Now, what are the responsibilities of leaders? Are they performing the responsibilities? How should businesses treat people? What do we owe the environment with all this environmental sort of lashing, concretization of the jungle? How do we think we'll be able to, our grandchildren will be able to survive? Will they be able to get enough oxygen to breathe in the future generation? And what is our bit to stop this? How should we think about justice and inclusion? These are not just technical questions, they are purely ethical ones. Third is, philosophy helps us understand ourselves. I've been trying to explain with all my books, with all my aspects. Who am I? What gives my life a meaning? What kind of a person should I become? How should I deal with, say, suffering, say, failure, say, uncertainty? We all know that if at all anything is dynamic, anything is permanent, nothing is permanent except change. And how do we adapt ourselves to change? We have adapted from those olden days of walking and cycling to modern day technology of travel, the olden days of sending letters by postcards, which takes years, and to modern day of telecom. We have adapted to these changes accordingly. So how do we deal with all these things? The only way is to adapt. And the faster we are able to adapt, the faster we are able to survive. Especially in this age of AI. How fast are we able to adapt to these AI and benefit from this is a thing of deep contemplation. The fourth philosophy helps us live with greater clarity. We cannot eliminate all uncertainties from life, but philosophy helps us face uncertainty with some courage and intelligence. There is a world of information about the ring of fire and the earthquake and volcanic activities happening all around the ring of fire. We are conscious of it. We have methods in place in situ for evacuation, for taking care, for immediate identification, all these things. These have become faster, but still the danger still exists. Thus, it teaches us to tolerate complexity, resist shallow thinking, and remain open to a deeper understanding. So consider some modern principles. Artificial intelligence asks us, we ask what intelligence really is, what responsibility means, and what machines should not do. If we are more reliant on artificial intelligence, will it replace man ultimately? Will it replace the entire labor? And what is going to happen to all of us? In social media, we ask how truth spreads. Is it really true? How influence works and how the identity is spread. I talked about climate change. In climate change, we ask what we owe our future generation in this concretization of all the land. In our personal lives, we ask what is success? What is happiness? What is fulfillment? What do they actually mean? These are all philosophical questions. In a nutshell, philosophy is a way of life. To be philosophical is not merely to quote great philosophers like Sigmund Freud or memorize their definitions. It is to live our daily mundane activities with curiosity, with humility and courage. It is to ask better questions, listen more carefully, and remain willing to adapt ourselves to to revise our views when needed. Philosophy thus teaches us what? That wisdom begins in wonder, in awe, in an awe-inspiring aspect. It reminds that the deepest questions are often the most human ones, and it shows that the pursuit of truth, clarity, and meaning is itself a noble part of life. So, if this series has one purpose, it is this: to help us think more deeply, live more thoughtfully, and see the world with greater awareness. With this, I conclude today's session because it's already almost an hour. You can reach me on these links. Before this is a brief of my forthcoming sessions: art of asking questions, the truth, knowledge, and what can we know, the reason and logics we'll try to cover up in the next session. So be here next Wednesday, same 8 o'clock, same Zoom link we'll be sharing with everyone. I stop sharing here, and now we are open for discussions. So very nice, Dr. Perlin, Christine. Thank you very much for being here, Sushma ji. I hope you enjoyed this session. Alisha ji, thanks for this your presence out here. It was really Alishan Shah is one of the Indian German translators. He's the great author. A great thinker. He's a recognized Chinese translator, not a German. He's a Chinese translator for all official aspects for the government of India. Any transactions which are in China, in Mandarin, he helps in translating that, and a close friend of mine. So, welcome, Dr. Perlin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's my
Very
first
nice.
session with you, and it has been an eye-opening session. And I would like to be here for your next sessions as well. And I have a contemplating thought that I
Yes,
often have in these days.
Mhm.
With time, sir, in this today's generation, we are in Gen Z world.
Yeah.
Thinking of philosophy itself is a big question. Because when we think about corporate world or working in an institution, the concept of philosophy itself is lacking. Morality is lacking. Ethical part of thinking itself is lacking, and we cannot teach it. And nowadays people are asking, where is God? That religious value, ethical value, moral value, everything is lacking these days. And even if you want to teach value education, they are like, why should I do that? Why should I listen to you? And it's a big cultural shock for even teachers these days. So I'm contemplating, like, if the world is going, whether the world is going in its right path. Are we actually living in a positive world? So many thoughts come to my mind, and how to accept that.
Very, very nice question, Doctor. Really, hats off to you for contemplating this as a teacher as well as a preacher. I do agree with you. The Gen Z is in a different scenario, and adapting to their requirements is a tough task for parents as well as teachers. I do agree. But
Yes, sir.
if we look into and pause a little bit and find out, this all culminates in the root cause of the rat race we are living in. We are rushing to meet, to earn our daily bread, to satisfy and make both ends meet. And with this high cost of inflation, parents as well as teachers do not have enough time to focus on each and every child to bring out certain cultural morals and this thing. Like, that's what I personally feel. I'm feeling the same with my grandson.
Yes,
And
sir.
having the difficulty, my grandson is hardly about 8-9 years old, and I'm contemplating on the same aspect. But then basic moral aspects starts from the fundamental discipline at home. Say, for example, being an Orthodox Hindu family, we have, moment we rise up, offer a gentle prayer to our God. We do a small prayer and thank God for our this day and things like that. But this habit is missing in the youngsters. They simply simply throw away their bed sheets and rush to the toilet and watch the time hurriedly. They are not even bothered about the school timetable or whatever is it. Pack everything what is available, which invariably parents have to do ultimately. And this sort of an attitude is basically something is missing in the parenting aspect. I've read many parenting coaches aspects also, and this is one area of concern for Gen Z, mainly because I feel the rat race, the inflation which is going up, and people not able to cope up with both ends, where both the partners, husband and wife, have to run for the daily bread, and it's very difficult to. This is.
I think even in ancient times, there was Ratnakar, okay, or Valya.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even in the Rama's Praja, okay, there were people, who were doubting the purity of Sita,
Yeah. All
So
those are
there were people like that.
yeah.
So it is a question of, when they find the right saint in their lives, and which strikes their right mind or right consciousness
Sure. That's
to
true.
get
That's true.
the transformation.
To
So
get
I
that
think
spark, to get that moment of
get that
spark,
spark. Yeah,
that is
I
what
think,
matters. I feel. Yeah.
yeah. And
This
I have-
generation, it's not allowing you to think, sir. We are
Uh,
not. Critical thinking is fully. What to say? I don't know. I think that critical thinking we are not teaching our children. I think it's more like you go to school, you listen, you come back, you do your homework, and go to school. That's
yeah,
it.
it's a basic thing. Basic thing is
Yeah, critical thinking is missing, and they are not.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are just scrolling down the videos and short videos, YouTube videos, Instagram videos, and we are not living our life. We are not looking around, our environment.
Yeah.
It's so passive life. It's not an active life.
That's true. We are
And
rushed. Yeah.
So I
Boils
totally
down to
agree with your
personal
answer.
choices.
Yeah.
okay, I have a
Dr.
different.
Jayasuriya,
I
you
have
can
a-
unmute. You can
Ultimately boils
unmute and
down
talk.
to personal choices.
Yeah, please
I
come
have-
back.
You're right.
I have one
Yes,
thing.
sir,
to
Moti
say.
sir, you are right. Personal choices matters more, and
That's
we are not even thinking about the choice, whether what we are choosing is right or wrong. Even there, we are going wrong. We are not just thinking.
And I have some different
That is
opinions.
where we need to look at
Yeah,
the more ethical
Jayasuriya, you
side of
can go ahead.
philosophy.
Yeah, Jayasuriya. Go ahead.
Yeah. Why? Because we are talking about Gen Z, and they are here. Only one thing is clear, that is, change is only the thing. There is no change, because we think about our earlier when it's our forefathers and all. They think that we are not following, and now the new generation, we are thinking that they are not. But they, according to that, Murali told the right thing, because every time now this change is taking place, and time is matters.
That's a basic thing.
And we cannot blame anyone, because at present time, as per them now, that is a Gen Z or the new generation, as per they are questioning. You told the philosophy means you have continue asking questions. It means that is a philosophy. And earlier also, former generation, they were saying so many things, and we are not followed as per them. We change a lot of things. We have changed from we to the next generation. They have also changed. They are asking questions, and definitely their next generation will be definitely much more faster than this.
Correct.
So this is a change is taking place, and we cannot say that they are not. Everybody, in their point of view, they are right.
That's true. It all depends on their own individual frame of reference and how they are going to contemplate and adjust to the particular situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
After
we are
Alisha ji, you are silent. I think maybe muted. Yeah. Anyway.
we are boomer generation, and this is last generation, I think. Anyway,
I have
you will be getting recordings on the same group. So this
Yeah.
join this group of Swaminathan Murali's WhatsApp group, and you will be getting the recording. So if you have missed anything, you can just listen again.
Yeah. One
Yeah,
minute. I'll talk to Mr. Prasanna Kumar. He's a great poet, and he's the author and the owner of the Fertile Brains section. If he's online, please. Prasanna Kumar ji.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I was just listening, and I can only say that the balancing yourself is utmost philosophy. Balancing your mind and balancing the situations is very much important. That's just the way of life, and that's the philosophy. That is very well.
Thank you. In a brief nutshell, you have brought
Thank
out
you so much.
crisp line. Thank you.
Guruji, I have another question.
Yes, please.
In your opinion, or like in the opinion of the Hindu Sanatan Dharma, like that point of free will.
Yeah.
So, is there a free will, or everything is predetermined? Like different probably texts might have different opinions. What is your opinion, and what is the?
First of all, you try to go into the concept of free will. See, the free will, the mind, it all correlates with the mind and the intellect. What we have is the basic inbuilt input data of all we have heard, seen right from our birth. Everything is stored like in a computer, and whatever we are seeing, something new is going to be incorporated and referred to whatever we know. So
that is okay.
This concept actually helps us to act in such a way whether what we are doing is free as per our free will, or as per our free thinking, or not. That's what is the thing. I feel. I don't know. I may be wrong, but it's a point of contemplation again.
Can I add on to his question, sir?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So I'm a Christian, so according to Bible, we have choices, sir.
Okay.
As you said, free will. So we do have choices, whether we are going to choose the right or we are going to choose the wrong path. So which path we are going to choose, it's our free will. So accordingly, our future is decided.
Which path you're going to choose, somebody has to guide right from the childhood, which is the good path and which is the bad path, or whatever you're going to do, or this thing. But that guidance has to come from a particular source, and that particular source is already inbuilt in our brain.
Spirituality, maybe, our ethical value.
Yeah. Basically, from the ethical values which we have incorporated right from our childhood. Now, talking of free will is again such an abstract and such a deep this thing. It depends basically on the environs, the habitats, the habits of the individual, and what has been gained down the line, hierarchically. And I don't know, it's a real nice feeling of free will. Am I free to go and murder someone? As I told an example, am I ethically right? And I gave an example of this professional sniper. He's doing his job. He's been paid for it. He's doing his job. Whether he's ethically right or not, nobody taught him that it is ethically wrong, maybe. Or he has no other means but to make money and has chosen that profession. That is a profession.
But to take a life is wrong, no, sir.
Which one? To take a life
is ethically and morally wrong.
Is ethically and morally
we don't have the right to take
ethically wrong for you and me. Ethically
Yeah.
wrong for you and me. But for him, he's earning his bread by doing that.
Wow. It's
What
a totally
anybody-
yeah.
That's
from his frame of
social
reference.
acceptance.
For
General
him,
acceptance,
he's
social acceptance.
earning his bread by doing that.
The truth
So-
varies from the viewpoint of the individual.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to drive at.
Yes, sir.
You see, yeah.
Anyway, it
But
was
The
a very
way he
nice,
followed should have
very nice
Yes, please.
the
discussion.
way
And
followed should have
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
gender
continue.
acceptance.
Yeah.
The path
no, but there is a
what
thin
was
line of
followed
that.
should have social acceptance, gender acceptance. That is it. It's not to follow any path to
Well,
make
the
bread.
discrimination, at one point where it's about oneself, discriminate between what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying.
This is a
Your
thin line.
one's choice may
What
be
is
different from the
right?
other.
What is acceptable to all, what is generally and socially accepted, is a path designated to be followed.
That's
Any
Okay,
path
thank you very much.
may not be
We'll
right.
be continue discussing on next Wednesday with
already
another session.
match.
And
Hats off.
thank you very much.
Yeah, next session
Good
I'll make
night,
it
good
shorter
night,
so
good
that we'll
night.
have more of discussion.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
good
you.
night, good night,
Thanks.
good night.
Sir,
Thanks
thank
a
you,
lot.
Thank you. Good night to all of you.
Thank
Good
you.
night,
Have
you
a
all.
great day.
Good night,
Have a
good
great
night.
night. Yeah.